As an Aquarius, I've lived through a lot of stories like Jupiter in our seventh house, which is where he is, the seventh house Leo. I've lived through that story, multiple times. I'm in my 60s. And so I know that feeling of what Jupiter does there by himself. So I want you to know that we have extraordinarily uncharted territory as Aquarians.
Lunatic astrology.
Hello, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. I am one of you, and we have an August to remember. This August of 2026 is going to bring up a huge amount of change that's fated and destined in our long-term committed love and romance house, as well as opening up doors of potential excessively interesting opportunities, from business partnership alliances and deals to how we reach out to our audience and marketplace. By early September, we come into a sense of ease and flow around all things to do with love, beauty, and pleasure, as Venus gives us an ultimate glow up, and we may even find some extraordinary luck. This month ahead can redefine how you experience love as a concept, because we have an extraordinarily rare combination of planetary alignments. It says it's not just about love and commitment, it's about the nature of your relationship to love itself. Let's get going and let's break down how your month of August looks for you, week by week and day by day. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Lothian, and this is Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology, not sidereal. Please consider also learning how to cast your chart and whole sign houses. See my description box for my free tutorial. I'm really excited to share with you that I am a teaching astrologer, and it is this fall that I teach my 7th year of Sky Reader. We have a long class this time. I've added 7 weeks instead of 6. We have the weekly Q&As, Facebook and Discord group. This is how to learn to be your own astrologer, time your best life, read your own sky. We'll be learning some simple timing tools that are very effective. Therefore, you can do your own astrological fishing instead of me handing you a fish. So think about joining up. There's a discount code till the end, not a code, but it's 40% off until the end of July. End of August, we'll apply another discount. But by September, the course will be full price. So you might want to jump in advance. And at the very end of this video, I'll have a little detailed description of the course by me talking about it in more depth. So see you there. For some of you, I'm looking forward to it. All right. The energy of this sky. Don't forget, your Aquarius sun is your career and solar essence, your spiritual essence, and your career matters. And your rising sign is your character in the simulation, and your character has a certain look, right? And it's got a body and it's got a personality, but it's not who you are. It's being like this meat suit for the spiritual essence of you, which is your sun. And your moon is how you think and feel about the whole damn thing called life. It often connects you to home. So, any positions where the moon is gets impacted by, eclipses can change our home. So, but I wanted to say the sky is extremely rare and powerful. As an Aquarius, I've lived through a lot of stories like Jupiter in our 7th house, which is where he is, the 7th house Leo. I've lived through that story, multiple times. I'm in my 60s. And so I know that feeling of what Jupiter does there by himself. But you add the South Node, and we have to go back to 1990, and we have to also go back even further to 1896. So when you put those two together, South Node, Jupiter, Leo combinations, that is where it gets really interesting and very rare. And even in 1990, Jupiter and South Node were together for only 3 months. This is going to be for the entirety of the next year. So all of that said and done, you're pairing together multiple rare cycles. Eclipses on their own are 18 years apart in this way that we're experiencing this summer. So I want you to know that we have extraordinarily uncharted territory as Aquarians, and whatever's happening here can redefine so many variables. It will really change how we see our relationship to our marketplace, our clients, our audience, also to our commitment in love to those we wish to commit to. If you are a single Aquarius, there's no darn reason why a new love story with a fated, destined quality will not show up. Not just this August, but generating a current from the August 12th eclipse that can run backwards in time 6 weeks before August the 12th and a year later. So it's a generative beginning of that possibility in the month of August. So there is that story. But I like this energy for those of us who are spiritually inclined, because South Node Jupiter is very guru, and it can mean that you're going to encounter a very profound spiritual teaching or teacher as well that can really change your perspective on life over the course of the next year. And this eclipse is that starting pistol. I'm going to break down of course, the Pisces eclipse this month as well. And we're going to talk talk about that. So you have to wait till I get to the Pisces eclipse, which is August 28th. We're going to do it incrementally, step by step. If you like this kind of content where I describe your sign monthly, weekly, almost daily in every video I do, then please hit the like button and subscribe. It does a tremendous amount for the algorithm. That hype button, that liking, subscribing, and commenting, sharing the video really makes a difference. And I just earnestly ask for support. So thank you. And here we are, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You'll notice we've got Pluto and he's out of bounds and he's on our side. So all of a sudden we've got a heavyweight, kind of like transpersonal titanic force of change, evolutionary impulses working with us, out of bounds, breaking the rules, doing it our way. There's a lot of power here for Aquarians. We're ruled by Saturn, who happens to be fallen, but sextiling us from the third house. So as you go into this month, you're still dealing with this Saturn. He's the Lord of your sign, as he is for Capricorn, and he's retrograde. So this means that as of about the 26th or so, 7th of July until early December, we're going to rewire, rethink, revision, reassess with discernment, third house activities, writing, teaching, communicating, marketing, and selling. Sometimes Saturn retrograde makes things easier than when he's in direct motion. So even though we're reassessing, it might become an easier environment to inhabit here now. And you're already in that when we begin the month. So there's nothing new. Your Lord Saturn is here until April 28, but its retrogradation is still going on for you here. You're very realistic about things and you're very sober-minded about them as well when it comes to marketing and selling and business expenses and working the angles on the social media landscape, or even very sober-minded and realistic about travel itself as well, especially domestic travel. For example, I usually go back east to visit my sister. I probably won't this summer. I'm seriously realistic. I don't have the time to do that, given how many projects I'm currently juggling on my recording schedule. That's just realism, right? That's just real. All right, as we begin the month ahead, I'll also talk about the planetary ingresses, as three planets are changing signs this month. So we'll drive into that as well. Starting off the first week of August, the first 5 days, ain't much going on. It is going to be just that old barbell basket winding down, and there's that mini trine here. That just says more of this next year, some of that last year, a lot of flow between your power of willpower, transpersonal superpowered willpower flowing to your third house activities, teaching, writing, marketing, selling, traveling, and to siblings, and to your fifth house, your creativity, your muse, your entrepreneurial endeavors. This is just ongoing and continues to be so in the backdrop of all of August. But when we move forward and we get to closer to about August the 6th, then we're going to see the Sun and Saturn flow together. You're going to like this a lot, because Saturn is your Lord and the light is shining back towards him from the solar light. There's so many ways that may play out, but predominantly and most likely starting around the 5th of the month, 6th of the month, 7th of the month, maybe the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, those days, there's some kind of ease and flow that Jupiter with the Sun is bringing to you when it comes to how you reach out to an audience, a marketplace, customers and clients, how you reach out to a significant love partner, how you reach out to your business partners. And this energy is flowing. This is determination and hard work and ease, luck and goodness and growth and expansion. The Sun here shines very much into the place where the public sees you, like fans and audience, from the 10th house, 10th to the 10th house, 10th house from the 10th house, not to over explain. And so when there's a light here, you're lit, right? So this could be a time of great success. It happens every year around this time of year, where you get more attention from the world around you, and your people who pay attention to you are really successfully rewarding you in some way. You feel their generosity, kindness, and glow up. It's an interesting experience here as well, because sometimes this can bring in a new love partner. If you're looking for a very strong solar figure, what is that? Well, Leo, fire, big-hearted, Jupiter, generous, magnanimous, expansive, wealthy energy, and the Sun is that masculine principle. I don't care if you're not heterosexual or whatever you're doing. It's the masculine energy that you're looking for to bring into your life as a relationship. And as long as the Sun is here, which will be to the third week of August, a new relationship, third week of July to August, could be an ostensible narrative for you in this story as well. If that happens, Saturn says it will be long-lived, and Uranus says it'll be surprising the bejesus out of you because it's like nothing you ever expected before or experienced before. Okay, and with the Sun and Jupiter over there opposite you, there's also the feature of you're getting a lot of attention, right? I don't know who's paying attention to you, but there's a lot of attention coming at you. Multiple, large attention, individual attention. You get a lot of attention, and you're feeling that attention right on you. And that's going to be true really more acutely the 4th to the 7th of August. Later on around the 9th onward, we're going to see Venus moving signs and then beginning to hook up with some planets. Let's watch her cross the sign boundary. This is a kind of good feeling because this is an air trine from Venus in her home Libra kingdom to you, and you just feel good. You just feel good about life. All of a sudden, you're singing songs that make you like walking on sunshine, woo woo, like Katrina and the Waves, very old song. I'm old, but you find that these vibes are uplifting, reassuring, and hopeful. And Venus up here is going to open up that energy field from a Lakshmi house, which brings wealth and luck and prosperity. So there's some kind of going on here. If you want to publish a book, you want to do something successful in the world of legal law, if you want to do international travel, if you want to be applauded by an international audience or something like that, or feel like you're deeply on purpose, then Venus up here says, yes, I've got your back. And she'll be up here for a while. She'll be in your Libra 9th house from the August 7th ingress, 6th, 7th ingress to September the 10th. So in that window, this is your time to shine. Now, it can be lucky breakthroughs if you're in the book publishing industry. It could be lucky breakthroughs if you're publishing and writing at all. So that's another example of something that could happen. Or you get a lot of luck getting, higher educational credentials and succeeding in your, being accepted to your favorite school, or your professors are loving you as well. Academia belongs to the 9th house. If you're a professorial type, then you're succeeding in your teaching as well. So as Venus is ingressed into this part of the chart, she opposes Neptune and trines Pluto. Opposing Neptune is good for disillusionment in the best possible way. No rose-colored glasses for me. Already Neptune retrograde is pulling back the fog of delusion. Now she just says, I see you. And this can be a couple of things. Now, if you're looking for a new relationship, this is going to build up into a wedge with Uranus over the next few days. So you can go August 6th, add about a week, and you could fall madly in love with somebody new. And it can feel like a soulmate relationship. And it can also bring a lot of pleasure and joy. But Venus's 9th house position, Aquarius, says this person may hail from another country than the one you live in. This person may have international connections. They may be of a foreign language, religion, culture, even skin color. The foreigner quality may be very predominant. You could also meet this kind of falling in love in a very cloistered spiritual community, a church, a synagogue, a religious setting. That could happen as well. But it can bring you a knock your socks off new love story. And because of her trine to Pluto, of course, it will be life-changing and super transformative. So this is a kind of a vibration that begins to open up as possible around August the 6th. And you'll watch her move into a tighter formation. And as she does that, hook up to Pluto, love of power, power of love. And as she flows to Uranus for romantic surprises that knock your socks off, including thunder, lightning, the way you love me is frightening. She also talks to Neptune, of course, for the soulmate thing being reality checked, right? Saturn says, we're going to double check the fine print. Is this bullshit or not? And, this is travel, right? The 3rd house. This is travel, but this is also your online world. So you could meet somebody in an educational setting, an online setting, a travel setting, a social media setting, on your, anything like that. It could bring a new love story. If you're already with somebody, then it's going to activate in long-term love. It's going to activate more pleasure, more excitement, maybe travel opportunities together, maybe, domestic or international. It's going to juice up the relationship a bit in unexpected ways. It can also involve major life changes with siblings in general, including the sibling one younger, two younger, and maybe two older. And there's a lot of sibling juice flying through the sky in harmonious, positive ways that flow. You and your relationship, or the siblings in their life, in their own lives, having this kind of flow state going on here. And ideas are coming to you, but in alignment with your deepest purpose. This is a beautiful dharmic triangle of air. And you'll notice profound kind of clarity coming around my mission, my purpose in life. Why am I here? And again, generating that clarity beginning around August the 6th or 7th, running through actually till September 10th. But the most intense part of that window is that August 6th to about the 14th. Moving past that story, and don't forget, we've got an eclipse coming, so don't give up on my slow pace here. I promise you we'll get to it. Mars and Neptune will come into a square energy, and we're going to get a feeling of grit. And we're not going to start with that. I want to go a little slower, so I apologize. Before we get to the grit, as we move towards August the 11th, we'll have Mercury and Pluto in opposition, which is usually an uncovering of information from a place of the unseen or unknown. So it's informative in one way, but it can also be digging up deeply. Like it's not just a bit of new information. It's like, OMG, I didn't see that one. And Pluto, as he's being opposed right here by Mercury crossing the line here, this is about what your own insights are, but delivered on the message board of another person. This could be a long-term love partner. This could be a new partnership. This could be a business partner. This could be a client, email, phone call, text messages, information coming at you, but also revealing something to you. Okay, you're the one feeling the revelatory energy of what this is, as you are given a information message or something that gives you this new window of visible understanding on something that may not have been so clear to you before then. So when we see Mercury in this part of your chart, and he'll be here for quite a long time too, he's going to hang out in your Leo part of the sky, bless his soul, until August the 25th, so about the 9th to the 25th of August. And this is where you're really busy. Sometimes this can be very busy, like commercially, like selling and marketing and making deal making, negotiating with other people professionally. This can also be about a lot of information and news you're dispensing into the audience marketplace, or that's being given to you as opportunities. Certainly Mercury Jupiter is like opportunities commercially, or business partnership alliances and things like that. And you'll be feeling that to be true August 9th again to the 25th. So we have to keep your eye on Mercury. It's important. Mercury is a very important planet because he rules the house of entrepreneurship, creativity, and romantic love. Certainly with Mercury here, you'll begin to get offers, right? Someone says, I want to offer you a date. I want to go on a date. I'm interested in getting to know you. Mercury will be communication, hooked up from the 5th house, his house of romantic love. And so all of a sudden you might be very in demand, or people want you for entrepreneurial, creative, performative, and creative and artistic endeavors, deal making, negotiations, and offers all over the place. And it kind of runs through really to the 3rd week of August. I will move forward. Well, Mercury moves into your 7th house. He begins to hit up Venus and Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, the whole gang. And this is going to happen like in increments. But one thing I like about it the most right away is Venus Mercury, because whatever this wants to become, you're going to see good news, positive directions, and lucky breaks. Venus is going to bring those as best she can through matters to do with your 9th house. And so by the time we move towards the 10th of the month to the 13th of the month of August, Venus is talking with a lot of people, and Mercury is there as well. Venus is talking to Mercury. Venus is talking to Uranus, and there is another kite. Surprise! What is the surprise that you're going to experience here? Like, what are we going to have happen, eh, guys? It can be a really important surprise or unexpected development regarding winning money, like a lottery ticket from a government lottery. Okay, it can be a very big surprise in the month of August, especially after about the 9th or 10th to about the 14th, of getting asked on a date, or an international travel opportunity, or a book publishing deal, or something in our artistic, entrepreneurial, creative directions that suddenly surprises us. Good news about fertility and pregnancy, and maybe children and grandchildren. So a child is going to announce that they're having a child, a grandchild is on the way, or this this can necessarily be a fertility signature for you as well. You could find this as unexpectedly you and your partner are pregnant, and the news is being delivered by someone, like your partner tells you. So that would be the female, right? She's going to know first. So pregnancy signatures are here as well. You could win in a court case in an unexpected way that feels like good fortune as well. And you might be getting prosperity from it, like money, payouts, Feels like a windfall even. Certainly good for lottery tickets, I'll give you that, especially government run lotteries, okay? Like, the kind that are, the Powerballs and stuff like that. So you might be winning money here as well. And I like this a lot because, Venus, Uranus, this is a positive money surprise. You're feeling it around the 11th and the 12th, and maybe coming from a win, a speculation, a gamble. This is institutional energy. Of course, this also could be romantic. This is interesting. Pluto is you holding your power, holding your strength, holding your determination from a deep transpersonal perspective at all of this excitement that's going on over here. The eclipse is on the 12th of the month. It is total, it is solar. It is happening in your seventh house of marriage and commitment and business partnerships and audience and marketplace. And therefore, this is where things are happening and it's changing in a destined way. Jupiter says fortune changes, destined changes. South Node says let go, release, and surrender. What do you need to let go of? So that something new and more blossoming and profitable can happen. Sometimes we have to let go of a past relationship, karmic or just recently, like in this lifetime, in order for the new one to blossom. Sometimes we have to let go of an old way of approaching an audience so a new way can blossom. Sometimes we have to let go of an old way of dealing in business partnership agreements so a new way can blossom. There's a letting go, well, there's a blossoming of the new. This is an eclipse that opens up a portal or a door. You're feeling it 6 weeks before the August 12th event, and you're feeling up to a year later as it unfolds its full narrative. Embedding Mercury in here, it's got a lot to do with the ability to communicate, reach out to larger groups of people, market and sell. Jupiter says influence, large groups of belonging, and a large ability to influence the masses. So you're leveling up in some way. I don't care what you do. If you're retired, you're influencing your social clubs and groups of belonging. People are paying attention to what you have to say or offer the world. If you're married already, your partner's having all of this glow up and increase of success and prosperity. And this eclipse changes how they receive that success and prosperity in their lives. It's going to be in a new direction, something different. This kind of energy happened 18 years ago, 2008 and 9 eclipses. Okay, that's the closest time frame for the eclipses to have happened that way, but they did not involve the Jupiter story. So it's completely different. It's so exciting. And sometimes when Jupiter's here, if you're married and your marriage is not working well, this is like you don't always get what you need. You don't get what you want. You get what you need, says the Rolling Stone song. And the South Node says, let it go. And for some of you, this eclipse 6 weeks before and up to 1 year after can detonate your marriage partnership. That's what it is. It's what real astrology talks about, the ins and the outs, the good, the bad, and the ugly. However, you have a say in everything. So what do you want to do about it? You are ruled by Saturn, who is trying to work with this. You could be too stoic, working too hard to accommodate a marriage partnership that really isn't right for you anymore. So there's something about you considering whether or not you're being realistic about it. And this eclipse will help galvanize you to make decisions one way or the other to stick with that marriage. After the eclipse on the 12th of the month, we're moving into another story. We'll see that Mercury is hooking up with everybody. What a little guy. He's having fun. Let's watch what he's up to. First of all, good news and lucky surprises in the house of money, and he rules lottery tickets anyway. So know your limit, play within it. It's happening on the 12th, on the 13th, and on the 14th. Most importantly, though, to me, he's going to hook up here with Jupiter. Jupiter is the guy who brings the luck and the expansion and the prosperity, and Mercury is a negotiator or the communicator. There could be some very good news coming your way from somewhere out there that brings you some great success. And it could be somebody like a client, a customer, a partnership and business person, or a love partner, or your love partner saying, I got some good news, honey, we're pregnant. Or I've got some good news, honey, we're rich. Whatever the good news is, you're going to yay you, say yes, thank you on August the 15th or so. When this thing is going down here, remember one thing. This is coming at you. You're not generating it. So there's some real across the transom information and good news happening in August for you. And with Jupiter ruling the gains of your career, it could be really good news about your career itself, feeling a bit like a windfall of some sort or something like super luscious. Jupiter also rules your income. So whatever this good news is coming at you from another is going to feel like a good place to be. You might be invited on someone's podcast, or you might receive some kind of success story in your career connected to the invitation from another to participate in something important. In August 15th time frame, a day or two before or after will work as well. Keep that in mind. It's not always exactly the same day. All right. Venus and Jupiter is called luck upon luck. Double your luck, double your money is a good way to put it, right? And this is happening here on the 16th. And so it's also embedded in what I said was your really good news vibe. You might be having a really big breakthrough in career based on the word international or book publishing or foreign places and travel. There may be a really lucky break here with an opportunity for you to get exposed to a larger audience connected to an academic environment. You might even have a chance to travel internationally connected to another person. And you should say yes, because this is extremely fortunate. If you're experiencing a desire to internationally travel, the offer, invitation, or experience will be positive and yielding very good results in the long run. Venus exalts your money house, right? But she's also the Lord of your fourth. And so there may be something to do with your form of a domicile or home and an opportunity to move, rent a property even abroad. And if that comes through at the time of mid-August, you might want to consider saying yes. Mars is moving, as we might have noticed a little bit late in the game. Mars is moving on to a new sign. He's heading on August the 11th into the sign of Cancer, his fall. And he'll be there until September 28th. Now, this is where you have to pay attention to your work routines very carefully. You'll be overworked and emotionally hot under the collar and stressed out if you are not careful. This sense of overwork, stress, burning out is not unlikely to happen because there's a square to Saturn and Neptune. You've overestimated your ability to continue to persevere and run a marathon of hard work. He's in his joy and he likes to work hard here, but you will be in a burnout. And I can see it coming in 100 ways to Sunday. He's going to square Neptune to give you a bit of a reality check about hard work. And that's something you have to pay attention to around August 16th to the 18th. And at the same time, you might also need to take care of your health. Mars here can bring you digestive and stomach upset problems. He can bring you problems with your heat in your body. You might be running hot. You might get fevers or rashes. Mars can give you challenges to your health in this middle of August that you need to attend to, and you need to do so with discipline, perseverance, and patience, of course, says Saturn, who's the Lord of your sign. You might be making some decisions to move, but not a lot of you, some of you. You might want to move your neighborhood. You might want to change your home. Mars is sextiling Chiron by squaring Saturn, Neptune in your zone of like the hood. It doesn't mean you have to completely move for good. This can be a change of residence connected to travel, to going off and renting a property, to getting away from it all in some way. And that temptation might not be a temptation. It might be the right thing to do. So if you're thinking of travel, to cool down, so to speak, then anytime after August the 11th might be a good time. And I do not mind it for you if your travel is connected to your work, right? I mean, you might want to find a better location for your work, just even a rental location for some of you. Who knows what this really is, but it could look like that too. It might be stressed out with your employees if you have them, or they're stressed out too. This is the employee-employer story, and people are hot under the collar. You might be tempted to get a pet under the sky. I would wait. I would wait till you get Chiron and this combination, kind of loosed up again. Wait till after mid-September if you're thinking of pets, okay? Mm-hmm. Wait till the end of September, maybe, if you're thinking of making decisions to get a pet. Moving past that story. Now we're trundling along to the post-August, the 16th time frame. Venus sometimes wants to tell us that love and money can be hard. She's got this thing about it, First it's fun and so fun, and then it gets difficult. Can't blame a girl for giving us a hard story. So around this time, around right here, the 20th, Venus is opposing Saturn. So the 19th to about the 23rd even of August, this is like a archetype of constriction. Venus is in her home kingdom and has more power than Saturn, who is fallen in Aries. So there's something about her also being in this exaltation home that they're trying to work it out. She wants to do something very lofty here, and it wants to bless you with it. It can be writing a book, publishing a book, traveling abroad, teaching something, especially kind of in a longer format, like multiple weeks long. And she's a high nerve person and enjoying it, but Saturn's got constriction, and there's something that there's push pull. Saturn is like, are you making enough YouTube videos, Lori, while you're teaching Sky Reader? That's probably that for me. I'm not quite teaching it yet, but I'll feel pre-Sky Reader content creation constriction. But there's something about also Saturn that says about enduring, right? Going the distance and being incremental in our pacing. So Venus wants to really find the balance too. So you're looking for a balance between activities and energies of domestic travel versus international, writing and communicating and marketing, selling projects versus lofty things like books, literature, and all of that. And there's got to be a balance here. Love can be hard if you're into a relationship with a foreigner, especially difficult if that involves a geographical separation. And therefore, at this point, you are going to feel really frustrated, or your partner does. If you're in a relationship with somebody and there's geographical distance between you, this is a moment of realism and sobriety. Do you really want to engage in a relationship where there's not local connection, where you have a long distance love story? This is a reality check moment for you. And again, we're seeing this around August the 20th. Legal matters look like they're going to go well, but you might have a problem with a sibling as you tie up loose legal ends. That's another example. You want to get the visa, but the local domestic passport is out of business because they ran out of paper. So that's another example. Some hardship with your siblings in general, and some contraction with a sibling one younger or two older, very possible as well. During this crunchy time of August 20th, a day or two before and a day or two after. All right. Now, the sun will be Cazimi, Mercury will be Cazimi, the sun in the heart of the sun for a divine download on August the 27th. I usually do Mercury webinars. I should have pumped it here, but I forgot. And this thing that's going to happen, I lost you. This thing that's going to happen in the Mercury Cazimi is worth noting. Watch Mercury, because he's going to cross a sign boundary. It's going to enter into your 8th house. Now, this is good news because he's the accountant. He's the fine print. He's the abacus. He's good there. He's commerce. You might start investing in stock markets, for example. Or you might be looking at restructuring your financial stuff for investments or corporate structures, or you might have some financial guidance going on. So marketing Mercury in the 8th is very much banking, loans, and mortgages, restructuring, financing, refinancing can happen. And he's sitting here and he's going to look at the sun and say, give me some advice. And the sun says, I got you. And so when they come together, there's a divine download, a new understanding. It's August the 27th. It's around 4 degrees. I know you can't tell, but it's going to happen at 4 degrees of Virgo. And therefore, it's a reset button. And it's also a part of a Cazimi that happened on July the 12th. Then this is the sort of the full moon point of it. And then it's going to wane by November 4th. So you're going to tie together stories to do with work, employees, employers, work structures, and then bang, money. And this is going to give you a clear understanding under Mercury's very, very intelligent and precise eye. It's extraordinarily powerful and positive for you. And at the same time that Mercury's consorting here, he's going to be opposite the actual partial solar eclipse in the house of money. Money that you earn, save, resource, and spend. That's your 2nd house of financial resources and possessions. And because when we have that eclipse here, it's going to complete a cycle of eclipses that began in September of 24, September of 25, and this is the last gasp in August of 26. What have you been doing with your money, and how has it changed your earnings, your resources, your savings, your banking, your finances, and all of that? For instance, in 24, I incorporated, and that eclipse was a part of that incorporation because I did it 6 months before in the pre-eclipse window. So you're going to notice that these themes of how you've been working with savings, resources, money, banking, investments, finances, that's been a story for a lot of you for the last 2 years, and this is the last salvo. And so what I find intriguing is that we have not only a financial last karmic shift, And a lot of people made more money as a Aquarius than you normally did in the last year or two. But that the North Node of increase and volume up has moved into your first house. That's a whole different story than here. You are the money. You are the money. I don't know what it means. You are going to be the thing that makes a difference. You have a choice. You are the agent of the change as a character in the simulation. And therefore, there's something that wants to change in your money that also increases your sense of worldly success. This is not the same as you had last time. This is not the same as fall of 24. That was when the North Node was still increasing the money. This is increasing you in your capacity to contain the money, to contain worldly success in some way. However, if you're in a divorce settlement with Jupiter there and South Node and this thing, it's about the end of a long-term love story and who gets what in the resources between the two of you, right? And it can be that as well. And that eclipse will galvanize you to start focusing on dividing assets, sharing resources, and figuring out the story from that point of view. All right. Sun, you're on a square during the eclipse is a surprise. Unexpected developments are coming through the sky, and that would be Sun will be squared to Uranus. Now, that can be good fortune on the financial front. That could be winning money on the financial front. So that's not that gnarly. But there's an unexpected development as well that may have been hidden from view with a child. A child of yours reveals a surprise. All right. Or a sibling too younger has a surprise revelation. Or siblings in general, maybe, but sibling one younger, two younger, especially. Surprise! And the information and news that was hidden from view comes busting out. But because Uranus is in the house of entrepreneurship and good fortune and creativity and conception of children, those are the kinds of surprises that are happening here. On the end of the month, pertaining to the whole end of the month from about the 27th through to early September, we'll have Jupiter Saturn trine for hard work pays off. Discipline, structure, and patience become profitable. Really good for your patience with travel, your patience with long distance love, your patience with things to do with your audience and marketplace and business partnerships, and especially with marketing, teaching, writing, selling, and traveling, and patience and endurance and hard work. This is good opportunities come through disciplined, enduring perspectives. Mars squares Saturn for a breaking point. He already squared Neptune, now he squares Saturn. He's in the house of work. Are you working too hard? Are you inflamed? Fever and rashes? Don't injure yourself. Digestive distress? Maybe, because this is what happens when Mars is hot and bothered, even in his joy, but fallen in Cancer. And this is a time of you wanting to be alone and wanting to be quiet and wanting to be still and wanting to go and hibernate and ashram out or something like that. And it looks to me like you're going to feel, like August 30th into the early September, there's a lot of tension. You're working too hard is probably what it is. So be careful here. This could look like a head injury. You bump your head hard. Be careful here. Mars is not a happy camper fallen in this part of the sky for you, and it could be overexertion of your workout routines even could push you too hard for an injury, or your work routines. So this is where you need to be factoring in, be careful. And you'll see that it's playing out until at least September the 1st and 2nd. So take care of yourself physically on around the 29th of August to September the 2nd. All right, thanks for listening, fellow Aquarians. At the end of this video, over this way, is my introduction to Sky Reader by me talking about it, maybe showing you the slides. I haven't made it yet. I'm producing your All Signs videos in early July for August to get ahead of my schedule. Hopefully you enjoyed the content and you're going to like and subscribe. Not too sure about this, but for now, I got the hair out of my face. A big hugs to all of you, and I'll see you on more of the videos soon. Every year I teach Sky Reader in the fall. It's always in September. It's usually 6 weeks long, and this time we're going for 7. We're taking it a little slower, giving you a very kind of leg up first week, which we take the pieces of the sky and teach you to read them in a very constructive and well-paced manner. This is my favorite class to teach. When I teach Sky Reader, I always feel so excited because you have learned to read your own sky. You now know what your chart is all about, and you know how to read the basic language of astrology for your friends, family, and your children, whoever you want to share it with. No, we're not professionally certifying you at Lunatic Astrology, and I'm your teacher, Lothian. We're teaching you to fish so that when you listen to me on YouTube and you're getting all of that guidance, maybe you can also get your own. You know, we don't want to move against the sky. We want to move with the sky. We want to move in the area of our lives that brings us flow and ease, because the sky supports that. And by having a knowledge of what the sky is saying and relative to our own natal sky, we are able to operate at a new level. That level is about flow. It is about not arguing with what is happening and moving in the direction of what wants to happen. It is so darn simple. Life is full of ups and downs, but if you know that there's a swamp, 2 doors away, and if you walk that way, you're going to get stuck in quicksand, you can avoid that. If you go to the left instead of the right, there's a beautiful meadow with a lake. Why not take that path? The sky is always grabbing us. It's called the grahas, or the grabbers. The planetary planets, like where they're going in the sky, the transits, that moving heavens, the moving stars, the map of time is a map of where we should avoid getting stuck and where we may move forward with freedom. And the grabber part of planets is that they're almost like celestial teasers, right? They want to grab us and make us move in a direction. Sometimes it's not in our highest and best good. And I don't mean in a conscious, malefic way. I just mean you can take something like Neptune and make it all about transcendence and spiritual union and high creativity and imagination. And you can take it all the way down to drug addiction, and destitution maybe, and even things to do with mental challenges, health challenges. So you can operate at all levels of every planet. In Sky Reader, we show you your highest potential. Now, this is an introductory class. If you want to come to Sky Reader to be your own astrologer and time your best life, then you're coming because you are curious astrologically. You're not coming because you've already taken some heavyweight courses under your belt. You're coming because you've been listening to my channel or other astrologers, and you've always had a curiosity about learning, and you've always wanted to learn to read the sky, which is the map of time. So I'm hoping some of you will come join me there, because I've graduated hundreds of students so far, and the feedback is wonderful. And I invite all of my students, former, to come back every year and play around in redoing the course for 75% off, because I think the more you do it, the more you deepen it. We have guest teachers every year. When you join Sky Reader, you get the archived vault. In other words, you can go back and watch other guest classes in astrocartography, the astrology of relocation, and things to do with zodiacal releasing and more. We have these guest teachers coming in this year, are so much fun. We have a guest teacher about the love codes, Donnie Lim of astrology, learning to read your Venus story. We have a guest teacher coming in about medical or wellness astrology. We have another one showing us about how to choose the perfect day to do something, day and time to launch your website, get married. That's called electional astrology. We have what's your purpose, dharma kind of thing with another teacher. So what we're doing is we're giving you a lot of content. What you're doing is you're taking time to learn, but also to hold on to that content forever. It is evergreen. Once you have it, you never don't have it. If it's over your head at first, you won't be over your head when you take a second stab at it. Weekly Q&As, different time zones, so we can get people around the world in those Q&As. We alternate between evening and night every second week on Wednesday nights, and usually they're at 5:30 or 6 p.m. Pacific time. We also have the idea that the class itself is now happening at 9:30 a.m. in Pacific time on Saturday, starting on the 19th of September. So that's wonderful. We have a Facebook group and a Discord group that we have moderators running, where you can meet other people who are learning astrology, share your notes, and get to meet some new astrologically curious friends. Who knows, you might meet your soulmate there. And we're also taking you through a journey that is sequential, from learning to read the sky to being able to use 2 very profound timing tools to help you understand your reality and begin to move forward with ease and grace. The feedback from Sky Reader year after year has been phenomenal, and every time I teach it, I learn to make it more simple, more well-paced, and more easy for you to grasp. So I'm in 7 years of doing this. I think I'm getting it down finally to a fine art, thanks to you guys. I'm going to show you the website just so you see what it looks like. I'm now moving most of my content to LoriLothian.com. It used to be somewhere else at Padaya. If you're there already, nothing is taken away from you. At this point, though, I'll show you the new website so you can take a gander at what the sky sky looks like over there, what my site looks like. And I hope to see some of you in class. I always say this, and I'm not making this up. You might probably think, oh, that's a sales pitch. Oh, I might not teach this next year. That's not true. I always wonder if I'm just going to retire and start to write books. And my agent wants me to write a book. And so I have a lot on my plate to get done in this life. Legacy is to leave a book behind. So for me, when I say I may not teach this next year, Lori may not teach this next year. Okay. All right. So this is the website, lorilothian.com. If you go /sky-reader, you'll be at the introduction to the course and the enrollment page. We're on a discount code right now until the end of July. Well, it's not a code, it's just a discount. There's 40% off the full price. And then in August, depending on when you hear this, there'll be another lower price, not as discounted as July's early enrollment price, but by September, it will go to full price. So make sure that you get in this class with a discount if that's something you're looking for. So you can see this beautiful website was created by my team. I think it's gorgeous. Learn to read your sky. And then there's a preview of what we have going on. So when you get into the course backdrop and you're there, you're going to have like stuff already waiting for you, a little tutorial on how to cast your chart and whole sign houses, free meanings of the 12 houses PDF. And I have what I call your Astro toolkit. And I'm always adding more stuff to that toolkit. You don't need a professional software. You can use Astrocom, astro-seek.com, time passages. These are free softwares. This is not requiring you to purchase professional software in order to learn in my course. And you'll see that we have the toolkit here. These are elements that go in, how to cast your chart and whole sign houses. These are already in the back end of the program. Your cheat sheet pack, 12 signs, 12 houses guide. This is just learning tools. This is all going to help you learn. For most classes, I'll be putting together a handbook to help guide you through each class, which is new this year, kind of a prompts, a questions, things to fill out so that you can use it as a kind of self-study tool, just print it out on a PDF on a computer. I'll aim to keep it black and white, of course, so you don't have to worry about color. And then we see that the Astrology 101 is we set you up really slowly. I call it the slow start, where we're really going to build the basic building blocks together so that when you come off of week one, you are like someone who went to kindergarten to learn the alphabet. You're going to have the basics in your toolkit, in your understanding already. And then we talk about the various parts of the sky, the big four, the 12 houses, dignity matters. Planets have dignity. You want to understand that. Otherwise, there's nothing you're going to understand without that. Dignity matters. We're also using whole sign houses, and this is ancient Hellenistic astrology. The focus will not be on the outer planets because we can't use them as time lords. And so it's not that there's anything wrong with the outer planets, but they're not good for timing your best life. Unless you want to live 248 years, says Pluto, 164 years, says Neptune, or 84 years, says Uranus. They're not the most timely tools, right? Solar returns is one of the things we do, and we learn about the perfection ages. Now, you may think I know all about my solar return and my perfection age. I don't think you do. I embed in some advanced tools there for you that you won't probably find anywhere else after like 8 years and thousands of clients, nonstop teaching and seeing real clients in the trenches. I have figured a few things out, and I always like to share what I figured out with you guys so that you can also use those tools the way I do. There's always bonus content here. And so you get from me, not to use until you've taken Sky Reader, the birthday chart advanced course as your solar return, the annual perfections advanced course, and how to find people in your chart. Where's my mom? Where's my kids? Where's my husband? Where's my siblings? How to find the planets that represent those people in your chart. That is also a part of a course that I've taught that I give you as a part of your bonus toolkit. Okay, so I hope you guys will go over. I hope you'll have fun if you come to study with me. I would love to see you there. When I talk about teaching, without a doubt, it is my favorite thing to do. It gives me a joy, actually. I remember years ago, I went to see a psychic reader in Coquitlam, Canada. That's outside of Vancouver. She looked at me as I walked in the room. This is like 15 years ago. And she said, teacher, 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 you are a teacher. At the time, I was a magazine editor and a writer, and I had no idea what she was talking about. And look at her today. She was right 15 years later. That is my passion. That is what I do. Hope you'll join me. I'll see you guys in Sky Reader, and let's have some fun learning together. Everyone have a very good, wherever you are, day, month, or year.
Lunatic astrology.